dead ass calm. There's only one thing I ask for when I'm sailing. Math 2, Math 3. A boat, water, and wind. Well, we got plenty of water. We got a dandy boat. Yeah, about the wind. Christmas Day in the very calm ocean. When you're out in the ocean, you'd be hard pressed, especially in Panama, to find a decent Christmas tree. And the only thing that we have, we, meaning me and the turd in my pocket, the only living thing that's green, was my Christmas lettuce. Yes, this is my Christmas tree. See the star on top? I was going to string the popcorn, but I thought it would be better if I just sprinkled it. And there's, oh look! Santa has brought me some presents under the tree. He's a monster. If I was anything less than a true sailor, I'd be puking my guts out. But it doesn't seem to bother me. It doesn't seem to please me either. I'm also drinking Cerveza Atlas from Panama. Panamanian piss. That background noise is a turbocharged Yanmar cranking out about 3,600 RPM, motoring at 7.2 knots. And this is what you do when you're bored out of your gourd out in the middle of nowhere on a cloudless Mexican day. I could be fishing, but what the hell am I going to do with a 200-pound marlin? Cut my hands to ribbons? I don't have gloves. I've got long line, but that isn't on. And, well, that's about it. I hope you're enjoying your Christmas, because I know I am. Feliz Navidad. Here we go, streaking for the barn, the double head sail rig. Two 4x4s. It's actually working really well. These are the ones I found floating off Costa Rica or Mexico or some such place. It's overcast again, 5 days running, so I'm not getting any solar, not much anyway. And so battery levels are getting critical. The real problem is I motored one extra day beyond critical in the doldrums, the intertropical convergence zone, and I shouldn't have. I should have just sat it out, but I wanted to get out to the trades, and I didn't realize how low my diesel was. I needed to keep at least 20 gallons just for battery charging going across the ocean here, but that is not a luxury I have. So now I'm down to 2 5-gallon jugs. The boat's so animated that it sucks air as it if I try to use the main tank. So the only thing I can do is use these 5-gallon jugs, and I've got to say, if I assume 10 days, then I can only burn about, well, I've only got one left, so that's a ½ gallon a day. That gives me 1 hour of charging at 65 amps a day. That may not be enough to run my refrigerator, so I'm trying to pound through my food, and that's about all I got to say about that, because it was a rough night, blowing about 35, 40, really hard to get this thing to steer the way I have it set up. It's my fault, really. I mounted the wind vane too high, and the paddle's not getting a good enough grip, and we knew it was going to happen. The sun coming up on a Real stormy day, a big squall over there. It's just been not very much fun last night. It was wet bunk, sliding all over the place. Just nasty. We have 902 miles to go. We're pointing right at the place. It's saying about 7 to 9 days. We'll see about that. I can appreciate how big those are. It's about 15 meters maybe, 45 feet. Look at that. It's like spreader height. And steep too. Whee! Here we climb. Every now and then we'll surf one of those about 11 knots. I think I'm starting to be all about fast boats and more of these long displacement boats. Anyway, just in case you ever want to get out here, this is what you can expect on a good day. So, now you've seen it. Boat steering, we've got double head sails up. Albeit jerry-rigged and small. I wish I had twice that much canvas, but whatever. We're moving. In fact, when it's like this, I just don't care to even get there. Got to get there sometime. Running out of all the things I most enjoy. Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted you to see that because this is the ocean you often see from the beach. It's the way it usually is. It can get awfully rough and it can get awfully calm, but more often than not, it's just like this, and it's very livable and very nice. Bye-bye. So I started here in Panama on the 16th of December and worked my way up the coast. Here's Baja way up here. Now I'm about halfway across the ocean. Well, not really. If you draw a straight line from Portland, it just about goes right through my longitude. So I'm about Portland's longitude. And I've still got about 1,700 miles to go out here to Hilo, right there. Life down below on a rough day. Got my central bunk here with my computing devices. Galley over here. Getting ready to make some egg salad sandwiches for lunch, I think. TV got its cozy on it. time of day where I check in, let the world know I'm still alive via ham radio to the...
Okay, KF, I think you came back to me and I just ran through your areas. Sorry about that. KF-2T, name is George.
14,300
Drive
megahertz.
along on the way home from work, and it's getting cold.
Big waves today. Making good time, 6 to 7 knots. But this is miserable. The boat's steering, but it's just waiting to get there. Waiting for this to be over with. This is why they invented cruise ships. I could be up in the Lido Lounge and tossing back the hot buttered rums, but no. I have to have my own boat on which I am the only crew, which means I'm the chief engineer. Yesterday I was taking a nap, middle of the day, and we hit a freak wave. The boat was laid right over on her beam ends. Total 6 feet of green water right over the whole boat. Filled this cockpit. Totally. All these cushions were washed out. I was lucky to save them. The fenders were washed overboard. I managed to pull them back. And my lunch was all over the ceiling. I couldn't even get out of my bunk. Once I came back, I came out here, it was up to my knees in water. The drains, see those drains under the floor, they weren't cutting it. They had little strainers on them, and those strainers were all full of flying fish scales. And because we get a lot of flying fish, we meaning me and the turd in my pocket. If I had a pocket, wearing my boxers. So I had to pry those off underwater and get it draining. These lockers on either side of the cockpit are actually deeper than the cockpit, so they both held about 15 gallons of water after all was said and done. But the worst of it was that my generator got hydrolocked. It was the water intake was such that it was knocked over so far. We got water into the cylinders, all 3 of them. And so when I went to start it this morning, charge my batteries, it was seized solid as a rock. Didn't want to break anything. I mean, that's when the starter can start bending rods and valves and stems and stuff. So I pulled the injectors. In order to do that, I had to shut off the water, but I can't find the C-cock for the frickin' water intake, so I just pulled one of the hoses and plugged it temporarily. And pulling the injectors, that's been about a 2-hour joy in the engine room, upside down, covered in grease. And I think I've got it. I'm just putting it back together now. So I'll carry on down in the engine room to let you see what's going on. Here's the generator I've been working on all morning. You can see there's 3 little injectors on this side. They all had to come off. In order to do that, all the return lines, it's a pretty involved process, and one I really didn't want to get into, but when you hear the cylinders are locked up because you got water in there, there's nothing for it but that the injectors have to come out, and you have to spin it over without injectors. Here's the water intake down here. I've got it just plugged up with a screwdriver right now because if I spin the engine without, what a mess, God help me. If I spin the engine without with the water hooked up, there's not enough back pressure in the exhaust system to keep the water from going back into the cylinders. Simple as that. So I learned the hard way, and now hopefully I'll get this all back together and she'll be right as rain, and that's all I got to say about my mechanical fun today. Good morning. I've been out here flogging around for 48 hours now. Absolutely glassy calm. I'm 325 miles from my goal. That's 2-day sail from what I've been doing. But right now it's more like an eternity. Would have been a good day for water skiing out here. Anyway, this is a good sign to see in the, I don't know if you can see it, but there's rain coming, squalls, a little bit of wind ripple on the water. All very good sign. I'm out here praying for any wind, really. I don't care where it comes from. Just let me start sailing and stop flogging these sails around. The only thing up is the mainsail. But still, it's hard on everything, including my nerves. It's hitting the backstay. I didn't notice that. So yeah, that's me, and hopefully we'll be underway here shortly. I'd like to, well, let me digress. My daughter Lee and my granddaughters and my son-in-law are all coming to Maui. I'm really excited about that. So I got to get there. Well, I should have been in Hilo on the 16th to the 18th. And if the trades would have kept up, that would have been cool. Then I went 3 days totally becalmed, 400 miles from my destination. And now the wind's coming out of the west-northwest. And I'm beating into it. I've got 350 miles to go. I've decided if I can make it, I'm going to keep punching through until I get up to Kahului on Maui, because Lee and her family, the kids are coming over. I want to be there, and I don't want to leave the boat on one island and fly over to another. It's too dicey. So that's that. This is not a sailor's favorite thing to do, beating into the wind. Everything is salt encrusted, including my pillow and my sheets. There's not a dry bunk on the boat. I haven't been eating properly because it's too difficult to cook, and all the good food's long gone. It's like, what kind of beans and rice do I want today? This morning I had some of my homemade bread with some nasty ass cat food like pate that Spam makes. I put on there. Anyway, this is what it's like beating into a strong headwind. Alright, surfing into Kahului. Wee-hee! Rainbow. That's what I'm talking about. This is a pond point here, leading into the isthmus. And Kahului is somewhere right in front of us. And it's mad seas out here. I got this big ass squall right there. Once it gets by, we'll be much calmer. There's Hana down there. like I pictured it. Sight for sore eyes. Well, that was one of the most memorable mornings I've had in a long time. Got the generator running to boost the batteries. I'm going to have a good solar panel charge today now that I'm on the leeward side of the island. But I wanted to give them a couple of 100 amps to get started, burn off some sulfite on the plates. I got the mainsail back up and cruising. This is my kind of sailing weather. Much more relaxed. A far cry from the Caribbean. Yeah. This is God's country. Look at how blue the water is. Simply amazing. More whale shots to come.